Oh. Smell that? It's a bunch of bullshit again. We've got a tsunami of mainstream media articles today talking about one of the worst, most horrific side effects of any diet you could ever imagine. These public servants at People Magazine, at Fox News, at Forbes.com, at Women'sHealthMag.com, and at Vice's Munchies. These civil servants are telling us the dangers of a ketogenic diet. And why is a keto diet so dangerous? Well, because of keto crotch rot. I shit you not. This is not a hit piece based on saturated fat and the fallacious argument that eating dietary cholesterol, saturated fat, that elevated cholesterol levels will cause heart disease. It's not those debunked fallacious arguments. It's not the animal foods are bad for the environment and the cows farting are destroying the planet. It's not those typical arguments. What we're getting now is your crotch is going to smell if you do keto, right? We're going lowest common denominator. We're going below the belt. We're going fear-mongering about vaginosis and yeast infections, which are actually rampant in the population these days due to a terrible diet and terrible gut health. They're saying that keto crotch, an altered smell from your vagina, is a side effect of a ketogenic diet. And where does this information come from? Well, if you actually read the articles, not just the headlines, if you actually read the articles, and you go back to the one that really kind of started it all from Women's Health, right? This bastion of science and progress, Women's Health, where you can see other beautiful articles like Kate Hudson is obsessed with the mirror workout, or Mercury is going into retrograde. Don't freak out. We can see these amazing, hard-hitting journalistic articles. Women's Health was citing a Reddit thread where somebody posted on Reddit Keto and asked about vaginosis because they were having a breakout of a yeast infection in like the second week of a ketogenic diet. And the mainstream media is picking up on this like it's this amazing gospel that's going to save hundreds of people from the negative effects of having a stanky cooter. I mean, this is pretty hilarious, but at the same time, it's kind of sad, right? I mean, it's basically a press release, right? You've got hundreds of articles coming out the same day, all talking about keto crotch. Tech Times, Munchies, HuffPost, In-Depth, New Zealand Herald, globalnews.ca, people.com, Jezebel, In-Depth, highly cited. I mean, every single one of these outlets is publishing essentially the same article with the same taglines. Keto crotch could be a stinky side effect of the diet. Here's what to know. That's from People. Keto crotch called out as stinky side effect of popular diet, says FoxNews.com. Forbes, is keto crotch really a side effect of the keto diet? All right. Well, why are we seeing this? Are these outlets trying to help us, like I kind of joked about a minute ago? Are they actually trying to inform us about how to feed ourselves, how to nourish ourselves, and how to lose body fat in a way that is sustainable and healthy? Well, I would say not. Right? I mean, we've got a huge conflict of interest here. We see companies like Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is getting crushed by keto. The CNN market now. So everybody's favorite daytime TV show and yo-yo dieter, Oprah, talking about how Weight Watchers is amazing. Says, I love bread in a Weight Watchers commercial 3 years ago, but carbs aren't cutting it for the company anymore. This is CNN business. So CEO Mindy Grossman attributed the problem to the keto diet, a popular eating regimen that makes bread and other carbs taboo. She said during a call with Analyst Tuesday that keto is becoming a cultural meme, and she even called it a keto surge. Whew. Wow, it's a keto surge. So a ketogenic diet is biting into the profit of these people, right? You've got doofuses like me who've been teaching people for the last 5 years how to actually implement long-term a low carbohydrate approach in order to burn body fat, in order to reduce inflammation levels, in order to improve mental acuity and decrease brain fog. So many of us are dealing with chronic inflammatory conditions in our gut and throughout our bodies. The gut and the brain are intimately connected, right? I mean, how many drugs are prescribed every year for diabetics, right? How much money is being made on insulin every year, which a ketogenic diet can actually make insulin obsolete in type 2 diabetics' lives. It is a way of managing blood glucose, keeping blood glucose stable, keeping inflammatory markers low, and is even being used as an adjunct therapy to cancers, right? Many people are finding that a ketogenic diet will actually sensitize them and improve the effectiveness of other cancer treatments. So guys like Andrew Scarborough, who we've had on the show here a few times, have used a ketogenic diet to maintain stable brain chemistry and not get seizures after Andrew had a very, very intense astrocytoma brain tumor, which was removed and has not come back, even though he's eating an all ketogenic animal diet. And you know what? Over the years, Andrew's never complained to me about crotch rot on a ketogenic diet. In fact, in the last 5 years, after coaching literally thousands of people on how to implement a ketogenic diet and how to do it correctly long term, after seeing so many people use this to lose over 100 pounds in a year with many of them, seeing many people use this to regain their health after nutrient depleted, gut destructive vegan diets. Out of all these people, I have never seen or heard of vaginosis or yeast infections being an issue. In fact, people who've had chronic yeast infections throughout much of their life have found that a ketogenic diet and a low-carb diet improves their situation dramatically. You're removing the main fuel source of the candida yeast, of a lot of these fungus that can cause things like vaginosis, right? And even in men who've dealt with chronic inflammatory conditions, fungus can be an issue in the gut. Me, myself, I know I've dealt with candida issues my entire life. I used to get foot fungus when I was a kid. Other people in my family did as well. But using a ketogenic diet, using, in fact, a zero carbohydrate approach, eventually finding that removing all plant foods was the most powerful thing that I've been able to do to maintain balance in my gut, maintain low levels of inflammation, and enjoy my life. And I've never seen this vaginosis or crotch rot, or what is it, they're calling it keto crotch, be an issue for anybody. Why are all these mainstream media outlets pumping this out all at the same time? Do you think this has anything to do with some of the major investment banks that are behind these companies being also heavily invested in a future that is plant-based, in a future that we're eating soylent slop, that we're drinking bottled Nestle water shipped from halfway around the world? And right, these are the companies, these are the investment banks, these are the people, these are the billionaire philanthropists, the people behind these news organizations. Fox News, you got Rupert Murdoch, News Corp, also behind Vice. You know, these people are heavily invested in a plant-based future. Richard Branson, heavily invested in Memphis Meats. Bill Gates, one of the biggest investors in the Beyond Burger, along with Tyson Foods. Right, so we're seeing some very advertiser-friendly articles in Forbes. Can the keto diet make things smelly down there? Right, just going below the belt, lowest common denominator. If you eat this diet, your junk is gonna stink. Right? No one's gonna let you. No one's gonna ever have sex with you. No one's gonna love you. It's gonna be embarrassing, women, if you do a ketogenic diet. I mean, this is kind of low-level, low-brow stuff. right? And all from a single Reddit post. It's not cheap to host a website. It's not cheap to publish articles and host them on your website. You know, companies like globalnews.ca, peoplemagazine.com, these are not public service announcements, guys. This is social engineering. Women's Health magazine. You think they give a shit about women's health? You think they give a shit about teaching you how to actually maintain health using nutrition? These are vehicles for advertisers to push ideologies. These are vehicles for advertisers to socially engineer us. Now, ketogenic diet is one of the most powerful tools ever for losing body fat. A ketogenic diet is putting bariatric surgeons, shout out to Dr. Garth Davis, bariatric surgeons getting put out of business by the effectiveness of keto, by the simplicity of it. Right? People that get into a ketogenic diet also start to question a lot of the other dogma that they've been fed by the modern medical, pharmaceutical, big ag establishment. Like cholesterol's bad. Right? Statins are the most profitable drugs on the market. And people more and more are questioning the validity of these drugs. People more and more are getting off of these types of drugs. People are leaving the modern medical establishment dogma diet of heart-healthy whole grains, right, of advertiser-friendly to General Mills, Cargill, Bayer, Monsanto, Nestle, and Kellogg's, of the advertiser-friendly, heart-healthy, carbohydrate-based diet that's low in fat, low in saturated fat, low in those naughty, unsustainable animal foods. Those foods that you can actually have in your own land. Those foods you can have in your own yard. I can have 20 chickens in my backyard with minimal input laying me constant eggs. But those are bad because they got saturated fat. And it's unsustainable, right? Because Bill Gates isn't making a penny off of it. We need to start questioning the reasons that these companies, that these corporations are putting out content like this. And we got to start looking into the funding behind these things. A ketogenic diet is threatening directly many big moneyed interests. And while it's bad for Bayer Monsanto, a ketogenic diet is definitely good for you and I. Because we have a tool that we can use to maintain stable blood sugar, to reduce chronic inflammatory conditions due to the overuse of sugar, right? Hyperinsulinemia being likely a driving force behind many things like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obviously, and many other conditions. Right? Women are treating PCOS and regaining fertility on a ketogenic diet. You know, you'd think women's health. You think women's health would be wanting to teach women how to be fertile. Seems more like women's health is interested in teaching women how to throw a proper abortion party than they are about getting fertility back using a low carbohydrate ketogenic approach. So a keto diet, one of the most powerful fat loss tools out there, threatening many industries. And this is truly a grassroots movement. We don't have anybody offering to fund our website. Like plant-based news, excuse me. Like plant-based news' benefactor, Prince Khalid bin Al-Walid, one of the most rich people in the world, one of the most wealthy billionaires in the world, a Saudi prince. He's not offering to fund primaledgehealth.com. But he really is interested in plant-based news, isn't he? So keto is a tool that you can use to lose body fat. It's not going to magically solve all your problems. You might have to take it a step further and start looking at some of the plant toxins in your diets, right? A lot of us might be dealing with oxalate toxicity. A lot of us who have yeast infections and chronic fungal infections recurring could be dealing with an oxalate issue, which many people find removing oxalates from the diet improves their symptoms of fungal overgrowth. You might have to take it a step further Keto doesn't make it to where you can eat as much food as you want and still lose weight, but it does make it easy to maintain a diet that is nutrient dense, that is satiating, and that keeps our hunger low, allowing us to burn body fat easily without thinking about it all the time, without having to spend thousands of dollars a month buying Oprah's Weight Watchers. A ketogenic diet allows us to take control of our health, to take control of our body composition, and leads us to asking dangerous questions that might not be advertiser friendly. Oh.